Please go ahead, Kate.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Dudley. So as Dudley mentioned right at the beginning, this is a new investment case and a new methodology that we wanted to try and develop and pilot for tackling malnutrition in all its forms. I think that was the key, and we really wanted to build on established methodologies to expand the accessibility and reach of nutrition investment cases. So the UN Nutrition Secretariat coordinated the works through the Nutrition Technical Working Group of the IATF. The technical teams at UNDP and WHO, who are also online, supported that, and Halifa, who we've already heard from, was a consultant supporting the development of the methodology. So if we can go to the next slide, please. So our approach, as we said, is built on the established methodology. So we did the situation analysis and then the economic analysis. The country that we selected to pilot the methodology was Zimbabwe. There are a number of different reasons for that, which are developed in the report. I don't need to go into them here, but Zimbabwe was our pilot case. What we looked at in our economic analysis was the economic burden of malnutrition. So we were looking at undernutrition and overnutrition, and that's really what made our work different from other work in the area of nutrition, because we're looking at all forms of malnutrition, or at least we tried to anyway. We were looking at the costs and benefit of scaling up a set of essential nutrition actions over 5 years and over 15 years. And the essential nutrition actions you can see on the little diagram, there. Now, within these essential nutrition actions, there were 20 interventions which were linked either directly or indirectly to one of the 4 forms of malnutrition, so wasting, stunting, obesity, or micronutrient deficiencies. They were all covered in the One Health tool and the list module, and that was the basis for the selection. What we did with these essential nutrition actions was grouped them into 5 categories to make it a little bit easier. So we had the 5 categories are periconceptual, pregnancy, preventive, curative, and salt reduction. So if we can have the next slide, please. So our methodology was to estimate the economic burden of malnutrition. We were looking at direct healthcare costs and non-direct medical costs. We were looking at the future loss of earnings due to unfulfilled education potential, foregone labour output due to premature deaths, and loss of productivity due to absenteeism and presenteeism. In the ROI of scaling up the essential nutrition actions, we looked at the scaling up pattern, the costs of the interventions, health and economic benefits, and of course, the return on investment. So if we can have the next slide, please. Just what I wanted to say before that is that this work actually contributes as well to global commitments on nutrition that were made through the International Conference on Nutrition back in 2014 related to improved investment in nutrition, and also commitments made under the Nutrition for Growth in terms of tools for financing. So this piece of work is not only linked to the work through the IATF, but also to broader commitments around nutrition. What our learning was so far, we're still finalising the report and making that available, is that we demonstrated that an effective methodology is feasible. What we've learned since we developed our methodology, that there was an economic impact of overweight and obesity carried out by World Obesity in 2019. So our work is very complementary to that. And then recently published is the investment case for the Zimbabwe National Health Strategy. So also our work complements those 2 pieces of work. In terms of our next steps, which also kind of comes on to a little bit our learning, First of all, we would like to share the report for peer review. We're just about ready to do that. We'd like to finalise it by the end of Q1. If anybody on the call is particularly interested in reviewing our report, we'd be really pleased to hear from you. We unfortunately weren't able to integrate the updated Appendix 3 from the OHT tool because it was still undergoing review. But we could really benefit. Really benefit from that. So we would also, what's really important for us, this investment case looked very much from the health angle. As we know that nutrition is multi-causal and requires a multi-sectoral approach, then we really would like to expand the methodology to move from this pure health system approach to the multi-sector approach. And that, for example, might be through integrating nutrition sensitive agriculture or WASH into the packages. And then we would also like to carry out a full investment case in a second pilot country. As I mentioned, my colleagues are online, Kaya from WHO, Emily from UNDP and Halipa. So any very technical questions, I'll also let them chime in and respond to them either in the chat or when we have the discussion. And that's it for, we had a final slide, which was we had a number of questions for you. If we can go to the final slide. So any inputs and comments on our methodology, the robustness, is it replicable in other settings? How could the methodology be brought forward to other countries? Can it be integrated in other ICs? Can it be used in country missions through the IATF moving forwards? So several questions there for you to ponder and give us some answers on. That's it from me. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Kate.